line up in here. I said a few old buckets around. I actually brought that one up when I cleaned the spring out a couple years ago. But yeah, there's the still, and let me walk down here and show y'all how it works. So the way this works is this here would be your running drum. As you can see, this thing's rusted out really badly. So I'm going to have to kind of prop it up. This old barrel back here, they may or may not have had the worm in it, which is where you cool your steam that comes out. This cap goes on here. And that hole right there is for the arm to come out, the copper arm. Comes out of there, it goes into the coil, which goes through a barrel, and that barrel is full of cold water. So it condenses the steam, and then you catch, obviously, the finished product down at the bottom. Now, it's not really finished. You have to go back and temper it. And by that I mean you got to add spring water to what you have there to temper it out and get it the proof that you want it, or so I've heard. So a lot of you are probably wondering how you seal all this up. You mix plain flour and water together and make a dough just about the consistency of, you know, say Play-Doh or modeling clay or something. You seal this all up with that. You seal around your arm, and you seal it up where it goes into your copper coil out here. And as that dough heats up, it keeps all that steam from escaping. Then you fire this up, preferably from the side, so your mash doesn't stick. Stir it up, and when she's getting ready to boil and steam, put the cap on, seal it up, put your arm in there, seal it up, seal your connection out here by your coil, and then you just wait. The only thing that you have to do is monitor this to where it don't get too hot. You got to adjust your fire, and you got to keep cold water in that on that coil. And that's about it. I know where there's a couple more of these old stills, and we're going to go have a look at those. So just stay with me. So this is going to be interesting. I really have my doubts about finding the remnants of the old steel up this holler, but came across it last year. I did a, I don't know, 5-hour hike over into Middle Fork, over into bear country, and I got a little turned around on the way back. Come across this ridge here and actually thought I was dropping down the next holler over, and I came out this one, and I came across the remnants of an old steel up in there. I don't think it was too impressive. It seemed like it was just a barrel and some other stuff, but I am going up in there and seeing if I can find it, or see if I can find it. It's rained every freaking day for like 3 weeks almost, and we have almost tropical conditions here in eastern Kentucky right now. And the bears have cubs, and there's a few big cats wandering around. So it wasn't like that when I was a kid. When I was a kid, as short as I was still the biggest critter in the forest, but not that way now. So anyway, I'm going to quit yammering and go up the left fork. There's the other one. And I'm going to see if I can find what's left of that old steel. So here we go. Well, I'm up in here quite a ways now. And no sign of that steel. I found an old barrel down there, but it wasn't even worth filming. I couldn't really tell if it was old shine barrel or if it was chucked out by the people that logged this. But right there's where I came off of. This is an old holler field. And unless there is something hiding up there, I don't know. I think this is be a dry run. I might walk up there, but I gotta sit a spell and have me some water. This isn't a fashion statement. This is my wet weather hat. I need to Scotch guard it. Usually keeps the rain off for, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how hard it's raining. Friggin' humid today, tell you that much. And everything's wet where it's been raining. So, not a great day for a hike, but you got to pick your spots when it's raining all the time. So. Got my Bushman Bowie wrapped in paracord and some athletic tape. That's my favorite knife. Everything I've got's pretty much budget stuff. And I'm packing the wife's sidearm here. So. I'll sit for a few more minutes and check around up there, but I don't think I'm going to find this one. I may film that old barrel down there, but like I said, I don't know. But, the next place I go to, there's pretty good remnants. There's a furnace and stuff. So, but if you don't know what a moonshine furnace looks like, or you know the barrels and stuff, I mean they're rusted out. But we'll go check that out next. So come along. There's that barrel. I'm not even going to say that that is moonshine related. Could very well be, but it could have been dumped out by the loggers because there's the old logging trail. If it was part of a still, they dozed over it when they came through here, but it is close to a source of water, so it just makes me wonder. But I gotta walk back out of here, climb in the Jeep, drive, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile down the road, park and walk up another holler to find the other still. So here we go. So the Jeep's out that way. The main road's out there, if you can call it that. And we're going up in there. So stay tuned. There's some nice steep banks here, so this will be fun. It's nice and slick too. Anyway, on we go. Let's go find that steel. Well, definitely a good place for a steel up in here. Nice clean water. Look at that coal seam. Say there was quite a bit of house coal mined out from here. You know, the folks that used to live here back in the 70s, so they probably dug them some coal out. But we got to go on up in there. So. Onward. Here's one of nature's water slides. Winds all the way around there, you know. Nature's water slide. If your butt can take it. Don't think mine could. They had quite the operation going on here. The old dipping bucket. 2 working drums. This old dipping bucket, 2 working drums, and I think this is the remnants of a furnace. You can always tell if something's been used for shine. Rough cut so they could get a wash tub cap over it. There's another barrel. Like I said, there's one that they used. Always got to have a water source. This must have been flowing better back then because we've had a lot of rain this year and it gets dry. Of course, he probably dammed it up. And then down here, actually, those were the working drums back here. Down here is the old furnace. Yeah, here's the chimney pit. Well, there's another scooping bucket. Yep, right here is the old chimney. It's all caved in now. Washed in. Back up here and see if we can get in. Oh yeah, this is cool. So anyway, You put your shine in there. You can run 2 barrels at once. Or they may have worked it off in that one, dumped it in the running drum. But this was a nice furnace. And right there is where the fire went. And then the draft or the draw created by that chimney, which by the looks of things it was pretty high. My guess is might have been 6 to 8 feet. Would pull the flames around the side of those barrels. That way you didn't scorch your mash. Like I said, so I've been told. I'm not going to lie, I have been around some of this that, grew up around here. So yeah, so the last holler was a bust. This one here is, we hit the jackpot. So yeah, this old furnace here is just way too cool. I'm pretty sure I know the old gentleman that built this. I think his boy probably helped him. His boy's passed away now. But, the old man, he's got to be pushing 80. Was in a wheelchair last time I seen him several years ago. So I have nothing but respect for people that put work into something like this. I mean, I realize it's illegal, but they might have needed the money, or it's a cheap way to make whiskey, and it's good stuff. I'll tell you that firsthand. Yeah, here's the old barrels. What's left of them. And those ones up there, said they could have been used for working the stuff off or something, but just I found this critter. Now I gotta have me a water and set for a spell. Oh yeah. Having me a water where some whiskey made back in the day. That's alright. I said finding stuff like this is it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I know it's illegal and all that crap, but it's a big part of the heritage around here, and I've talked to old timers who used to make it, and one old feller from Decoy told me he was sitting and watched the revenuers cut his steel up. So I mean, I just think there's a lot of aspects of it that are pretty cool. That crap they show on TV and stuff, I ain't much for that. They run around, supposed to be making moonshine, they never make anything. So, this is the real world out here, and this is how it was made. So, if you can imagine, people having to carry all this stuff back here, because none of these logging roads were here that I was aware of, and there weren't any four-wheelers back then, so they carried all this stuff back here on their back. And then you take into account they had to carry 50 pounds of sugar and 50 pounds of cornmeal just to make one batch of moonshine. And you factor all that in, there was a lot of hard work involved in this stuff. I mean, not me, but a guy I know could tell you firsthand that there's a lot of work involved in this stuff. So, cheers, folks, and I'm gonna finish this water and rehydrate myself and hike my old rear end out of here. Supposed to get some bad storms here in a few hours, so I'd rather not be up in here for that. So, cheers, peace, take care of y'all, and catch you later. And I'm going to see if I can find what's left of that old steel. So here we go. Well, I'm up in here quite a ways now. And no sign of that steel. I found an old barrel down there, but it wasn't even worth filming. I couldn't really tell if it was old shine barrel or if it was chucked out by the people that logged this. But right there's where I came off of. This is an old holler field. And unless there is something hiding up there, I don't know. I think this is be a dry run. I might walk up there, but I gotta sit a spell and have me some water. This isn't a fashion statement. This is my wet weather hat. I need to Scotch guard it. Usually keeps the rain off for, I don't know, 45 minutes. Put the cap on, seal it up. Put your arm in there, seal it up. Seal your connection out here by your coil, and then you just wait. The only thing that you have to do is monitor this to where it don't get too hot. You got to adjust your fire, and you got to keep cold water in that on that coil. And that's about it. I know where there's a couple more of these old stills, and we're going to go have a look at those. So just stay with me. So this is going to be interesting. I really have my doubts about finding the remnants of the old steel up this holler, but came across it last year. I did a, I don't know, 5-hour hike over into Middle Fork. It condenses the steam, and then you catch, obviously, the finished product down at the bottom. Now, it's not really finished. You have to go back and temper it. And by that I mean you got to add spring water to what you have there to temper it out and get it the proof that you want it, or so I've heard. So a lot of you are probably wondering how you seal all this up. You mix plain flour and water together and make a dough just about the consistency of, you know, say Play-Doh or modeling clay or something. You seal this all up with that. You seal around your arm, and you seal it up where it goes into your copper coil out here. And as that dough heats up, it keeps all that steam from escaping. Then you fire this up, preferably from the side, so your mash doesn't stick. Stir it up, and when she's getting ready to boil and steam. And up in here, said a few old buckets around. I actually brought that one up when I cleaned the spring out a couple years ago. But yeah, there's the steel, and let me walk down here and show you all how it works. So the way this works is, this here would be your running drum. As you can see, this thing's rusted out really badly, so I'm going to have to kind of prop it up. This old barrel back here, they may or may not have had the worm in it, which is where you cool your steam that comes out. This cap goes on here. And that hole right there is for the arm to come out, the copper arm. Comes out of there, it goes into the coil, which goes through a barrel, and that barrel is full of cold water. So we're into bear country, and I got a little turned around on the way back. Come across this ridge here, and actually thought I was dropping down the next holler over. And I came out this one, and I came across the remnants of an old steel up in there. I don't think it was too impressive. It seemed like it was just a barrel and some other stuff, but I am going up in there and seeing if I can find it, or see if I can find it. It's rained every freaking day for like 3 weeks almost, and we have almost tropical conditions here in eastern Kentucky right now. And the bears have cubs, and there's a few big cats wandering around. So it wasn't like that when I was a kid. When I was a kid, as short as I was still the biggest critter in the forest, but not that way now. So anyway, I'm going to quit yammering and go up the left fork. There's the other one.